No, I was going to say good morning, and then I was like, what if it's not morning? Anyway. Hello and welcome to Diary of a Migration Lawyer. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to go and find a migration lawyer, representative, whatever you want to call it, and how to get the most out of that first interaction in your consultation so that you can reach your migration goals. The first thing, before you get to that meeting, what you should really be doing is setting your intentions for what you want to do in Australia. Is your plan to study here? Is your plan to work here? Is your plan to find love and get married and never leave? Is your plan to be a citizen? The advice that you're given will really depend on what your plan is. So knowing that before you get to the meeting will help guide the conversation and help the lawyer really give you the best pathway forward. The second thing is to be flexible. So yes, you want to be an Australian citizen. Of course you do. Australia's amazing. But it might not be right now that you're eligible to be able to do that. So if you have a little bit of flexibility in the way that you want to work with your migration lawyer, the things that you want to do in Australia, where you work, where you live, that will really start to open up the gates a little bit more and potentially give you some more options around what's available to you to be able to get to your end goal of Australian citizenship or whatever it might be for you. The third thing to think about is that you really need to get your documents in order. If you come to me and say, I want a work visa, I want to work in Australia, and then I want to be a permanent resident, and that's wonderful. I'm quite happy to help. But if you give me a resume and it's got no work experience on it, I have no idea what you've been doing during your career, I don't know what your qualifications are, it makes it very difficult for me to start to categorize your occupation or exactly what you're doing. So if you have your documents in order, things like a passport, for example, your English test results, if you have them, your resume is up to date. If you're in a relationship, your marriage certificate, or a little bit more information about the type of relationship you're in. Is it de facto? Are you married? Wow. The goal here is to make sure that you can give your lawyer or your representative as much information as possible from that very first meeting so that, again, your pathway is clear and you know exactly the steps that... Whoa. Hello? So really what you want to do is make sure you give your lawyer as much information as possible. If you want a work visa, we need a resume. If you want a student visa, we need to know what you want to study. If you want a partner visa, we need to know a little bit more about your relationship to really give you the best advice for you to reach your migration goals. So the next tip is really knowing what you need to do in the process. So the best applications that I've seen throughout my 10 plus years in immigration law are the people that are really prepared. They have their documents in order. They take ownership of going to book things like their English test or their medical test. They know that they have to get work references from their old employers. They know that their resume has to be up to date with all of their qualifications, all of their work experience. They know that their relationship documents need to be, if we were talking about it in paper terms, which immigration is not, in Australia it's all online, but if it was in paper terms, we'd have an application this big of paper documents for a partner visa. So just know exactly what your responsibilities are going to be and exactly what the responsibilities are of your lawyer or your migration representative. And that'll be really key in helping your application progress forward and in a more positive way. The final tip I have on interacting with your migration lawyer or representative is really to work as a partnership, as a team. So teamwork makes the dream work. So if you are working with myself or another lawyer, us knowing all of the information is really critical to ensuring that we're putting the best application forward for you, ensuring that you are working towards your migration goals every step that you take in your migration journey. So if we don't have all the information, we obviously can't give you the best advice. So if we work within a team, that's a much easier thing to do. If you need to loop in other people like an interpreter or a translator, a doctor with any medical issues, if you need family and friends to help you with statements or supporting documents for the purposes of a partner visa, if you need to talk to old employers for a work reference, all of these people are part of the team to help you reach your migration goals. So just maybe sit down, have a think about the people that might be able to assist and start to tick them off your list. And that was another episode of Diary of a Migration Lawyer. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to get more updates on migration and the practical things that you need to do to be successful, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all our socials. Thanks.